Definitely pulled at least 2 of those. 100% knew I did it. This thing, that's just awesome. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Up today we have a very special 1911 up for review. This is a Clark Longslide 1911. And while a lot of people may not have heard of these, once you hear the story on how this came about and how it was made, and the man himself who made it, you will want one of these. This is by far one of the coolest 1911s I've ever held in my hands. And so with that, let's kick off the review. So Longslide, why is it a Longslide? Well, pretty obvious if you know 1911s. If you don't, though, here's a 5-inch government, right? It's longer, right? The slide's longer, so is the barrel. There's the name. What's so significant about these is that this was the first time the 1911 was built with a longer barrel and slide. We're talking early 1960s. What makes this even more special is the man who actually made this specific one and a lot of the early ones, and that is Jim Clark Sr. Now, for those who don't know, do a little Google search, but Jim Clark Sr. was a legend of a man. Marine Corps veteran, highly accomplished competition pistol shooter back in the 50s, 60s, that era, and even better known gunsmith. This guy was well awarded and accomplished in the gunsmithing world, very well known back in the day, and he's kind of a pioneer when it came to customizing 1911s. Now, this specific one was actually made by him, as I mentioned, and I know that for a couple of reasons. One, I've read that if they're marked Shreveport, at least this font style, that's an indicator that it could have been made by him early on. The other thing, the way I really know it was made by him, is underneath the slide, there's a date code in there. And one of the dates is 1166. According to their website, they started making these, or he started making these, in the early 60s. So this was made in November 1966. The thing I'm a little confused on with it, though, is there is a date code 445, so that'd be April 1945. But I couldn't find anywhere where he actually started working on these back then. So that code may mean something else. I'm not really sure. If you know, please let me drop it down in the comments so I can learn. But really neat that the legend himself built this. And what's even cooler is how these are made. So back then, he didn't have, and a lot of people did not have the technology to just go out and produce a slide this long. So he probably did make the barrel or had somebody else contract the barrel, because it's not a two-piece design. But the slide is. This is actually built from 2 different slides. So you've got your standard 5-inch government style slide, and then the front end off of another one. And I'll roll in some B-roll footage here, but there are actually 2 grooves for the barrel bushing to fit, because it's 2 front end sections of the slide, which is really neat. At this point, we'll go ahead and just show you that it's clear, because I am going to be pointing the gun around. So there we go, empty. But this specific gun has some nice Bowmar sights. I don't know if that'll come through or not. Hopefully it does. And as you saw from shooting, the sight picture on this is wonderful. It's got, for lack of a better term, stippling on the front strap. I believe from what I saw on another YouTuber's channel that they called it tiger tooth stippling, I believe. Apparently he was very famous for it, and most of his guns will have this style of stippling, which this one does. The back mainspring is also kind of stippled up. And then The grips that were on this were Fritz 10-ring grips, which are made for one-handed silhouette shooting, which is what this gun would have been intended for. However, I had these laid around the shop, which are also period correct, and they just really finish the gun, in my opinion, and look great. As far as other features go, you've got kind of a custom beaver tail there, which kind of real early design. You can see it's a little bit crude, but still really neat. And then the trigger on this thing is amazing. It's about 3 pounds, can't be any more than 3 pounds. Nice and crisp. The slide is buttery smooth. And then I reset right there. One of the best triggers I've ever felt on a 1911. The other thing with this is, with it being a custom gun, the bushing is hand fit and it is extremely tight. You have to have a bushing wrench to get this thing apart, but that makes it all the more accurate. This thing is just a joy to shoot. Muzzle flip is a little more than like a 5-inch gun. However, it's very gentle to shoot. And I think a lot of that just has to do with a longer slide. Sometimes when you put a longer slide on a semi-auto, you're going to get some more muzzle flip. That's how it is this way, but it is still just super soft shooting and shoots really, really good. It's a shame I can't shoot better. This gun, I guarantee you, in the right hands, you could probably hit that 8-inch plate I've been shooting at 100 yards. I don't see why you couldn't. Me, I'm super shaky. You guys have probably seen it in some of the other videos. I've got some nerve damage. It's just how it is. I can't take advantage of the accuracy of this thing, but the history, the story, and just the opportunity to shoot it is amazing. If you guys run across one of these, you should definitely pick one up. I highly recommend it. Really neat piece of history. I just thought I'd share it with you guys while I had it in the shop. If you guys didn't know about them, hopefully you learned something. So guys, with that, I hope you enjoyed the video. I know I enjoyed making it. This gun was a ton of fun to shoot. And as always, stay free.